What's up? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. The legendary Alice Cooper dropped his 21st studio album on February 26th entitled Detroit Stories. What a fun, just tribute to a fantastic music city this record is. Love Alice Cooper, born in Detroit, but grew up in Arizona, where the band was originally formed. Back to Detroit, which obviously, if you're familiar with that history, a lot of rich rock and roll tradition there with the Stooges, MC5, Grand Funk Railroad, Bob Seger. You can go on and on and on, but you also got the Motown factor. You know, the legendary Aretha Franklin. You got the Temptations. The Funk Brothers, who backed pretty much all those number one Motown hits. If you've never seen the film Standing in the Shadows of Motown, man, you got to check that out. These guys played on more hits than like the Beatles, Elvis Presley, the Stones, and some other band combined. It's just incredible the body of work that these guys were a part of in a 13-year span before Motown picked up and moved out to LA. Alice Cooper does right by Motown. He's certainly a rock and roll guy, so this album, focuses more on rock. But there's some cool songs, especially $1,000 High Heel Shoes, that have a nice Motown feel, good funk, soul. It almost kind of reminds me of Stevie Ray Vaughan a little bit. The track, just the way it moves and the funk that it has. But he brings in a lot of major players from the Detroit music scene on this record. Wayne Kramer from the MC5. Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. You got actually all of the surviving members of the original Alice Cooper band, and then Joe Bonamassa, who actually opens up the album with a cover of Rock and Roll by the Velvet Underground. So it's kind of interesting. A guy that's not from Detroit. I'm not sure where Joe's from, but I know he's not from Detroit. Covering a song that's written by a band from New York, but they give it a phenomenal kick. It's a nice twist on the song. I don't know if I like it more than the original. I'm a big Velvet Underground fan, but the cover's fun. It's a cool way to kick off the album. Goes right into a song, "Go Man Go," which is definitely in that nice kind of MC5 punk tradition. It's got a little bit of a Ramones feel as well. This album's cool. It's just it's all over the place. There's Detroit City 2021 has got a fun kick to it. There's a couple moments on the album where Our Love Will Change is the third track on the record. It seems a little out of place. It's just got this. It's funny because the lyrics are a stark contrast to the jovial, upbeat nature of the music. But with it's a 50-minute runtime, 15 songs on this record. It feels out of place. I think this album could have benefited from the absence of that song. There's a song called "I Hate You" as well that just feels kind of goofy too. I didn't really care for that track. So if I had a criticism of the record, I'd say if you'd remove those two songs, then you got a cool shorter runtime. But it's Alice Cooper at his best, rocking out with a ton of people that have influenced him, inspired him, and created this really awesome rock and roll scene that's carried on to now. You got guys like Jack White who come out of Detroit still. Eminem, despite being a hip hop guy, I'm sure would definitely talk about the influence of all those musicians, rock and roll musicians, Motown musicians. Just a cool city. It's a great album that certainly does right by the rich history of I would say in the last 70 years, arguably, probably the city with the best musical history. If you want to talk about 60s, 50s, get before that, definitely understand New Orleans, Chicago, certainly a valid argument there. But Alice is, like I said, love the Arizona representation there. He's run on U of A campus. I used to live down near U of A campus, and I've seen him before running in the morning. So that's really cool. I mean, the guy can still rock out. It would be really cool if, when things get back to normal, if he did a tour, especially with some of the guys that were featured on this album. I'm sure they'd all be more than down to check out. "Shut Up and Rock" is the last track, which is super cool. "Hanging On by a Thread" is a cool track. It definitely shows off that sincere side of Alice Cooper that a lot of people appreciate so much. I think you get a lot of that in his radio show, which is phenomenal. But the track is certainly about, parentheses, "Don't Give Up" is part of the title. At the end of the track, he throws out the number for the suicide hotline. So love Alice Cooper for that. He really is a good guy. Like, he cares about people. And he's also fun. Lyrics are, there's some really funny stories and some CD characters that are featured on this record. So I'm going to give this a vinyl, please. Big time. It's on this really fantastic double red vinyl if you want to check that out. I hope you all enjoy this record and find this review helpful. Thanks for tuning into the Beat Sessions. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.